right, everybody, it's Adam and Mike coming to you live from the RS
Performance Center.
The RS Performance Center.
In an undisclosed location.
Here in the beautiful woods of Ulster County. It's our first podcast of 2024, so Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year, guys.
Everybody had a wonderful holiday. But I saw the other day it's 100 days till Masters. There's 14 weeks left until April 1st. So again.
And what do we got? We got 44 days until our next trip.
Until, are we disclosing where we're going?
I think we got a couple more podcasts between now and then.
All right.
To let our viewers know.
Epic February golf trip, and that we'll let you know a little farther. But today, first off, we want to thank our partners, simulator partners this year, who've been very, very, very generous to us. I want to give a shout out to Pink's Links and Tom up there in Bronx, New York. A really, really, really nice setup. They've been very nice to us.
Yeah, what a setup that is. And then we got Northway 8.
Northway 8 was very good. Matter of fact, Tom Pink's Links and Northway 8 had the exact same simulator setup.
Yeah, and we played the same course.
Yeah.
And I probably shot the same terrible score.
Wiltwick's always very, very generous to us, and we appreciate that. See Trevor, and he can hook you up for some swing time and lessons.
And then our boys,
yeah,
they just got one at Innis. Jeff and Miles got what did they get?
They got the G Quad.
Yeah.
But they got upgraded one, Miles was sending me some pictures of him piping it down the middle. 314, 1500 spin rate. Those animals are going to be in there all winter. But
we're going to have our work cut out for them if they're practicing all winter. And oh man, we're going to have to have another battle with those guys.
But hopefully your simulator winter's going great. And if there's a simulator that we should be checking out, just put it in the comments. We'll definitely go there. But that's not what we're talking about today.
Nope, we just got back from our trip to Myrtle Beach. We had an amazing time, little daddy-daughter trip, which is what it turned into. Originally, it was supposed to be me, Adam, and Miles, and then it turned into daddy-daughters. So I brought my older two daughters with us, and then Adam brought his daughter with him.
Yeah, I mean, the idea behind this whole thing is we, every day in September, every day in October that we get a chance to play golf, everybody would say, this could be the last one. It could be the last. You just don't know what's going to happen with the weather. And as we were working our way and counting it down, and you just knew sooner or later there was going to be a deep frost, a stretch of bad weather, a cold spell, you just weren't going to get out there. The more I started thinking about, what if we just went to Myrtle? Just a couple of days. Just a couple of days.
And I remember you coming to the gym and throwing the option out there. He was almost expecting me to say no. And I was like, yeah, sounds like a great idea. Let's do it.
So we said, we'll just drive down real quick. It's only 11 and a half, 12 hours. We'll drive down real quick. We'll grab a hotel. We'll play 36 on Saturday, 36 on Sunday. We'll bring it right back. No problem. And it wasn't. And it was supposed to be this boys trip. But then, again, we ended up with, it was the holiday.
So, yeah. So the plan was originally to leave Friday early morning.
Yep.
This was before everything.
Black Friday, yep.
Everything got. Yeah, so we were planning on going Black Friday, coming back Sunday night into Monday, not working Monday, whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, then my older two children really wanted to hang out at our house for Thanksgiving, and then we usually go get our Christmas tree and all these crazy things. I was like, oh man.
Well, then simultaneously, we had just gotten back from Puerto Rico. And while we were down there was a D2 and D3 women's golf tournament going on. And I got talking to some of the coaches down there, and they said, hey, could we reach out to your daughter? Could we talk to her about playing for our school? And one of the things that they were asking for was a highlight reel. I said, highlight reel? I said, I got baby pictures. And they said, you should put together something. So I said, wow, how cool is this going to be? Your daughter's going to come down. We'll bring Maddie down. That way we get extra photographers. We get extra filmographers. And quite honestly, when do you get a chance to take a road trip with your daughters?
I think the coolest thing about it was that we did the road trip. It was fun. And, the girls got along great.
Yeah.
And I think for the girls to see us doing this channel, not just seeing me sit at the computer editing videos, but actually seeing it in action, coming out, filming stuff, and dude, honestly, our daughters just played the top three of the top 10 courses in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
So I mean, to be able to go home and be like, yo, I played Caledonia.
Yeah.
You know what I played when I was growing up? I played in my backyard, or like Rip Van Winkle and Palmville. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, don't bust on the Rip.
I'm just saying, those were mine. Yeah, True Blue, Caledonia. You know, it's insane.
So I will say we touched base with the folks down at True Blue, and they were extraordinarily gracious and invited us down for a full day of fun and frivolity.
Oh man, great experience.
Yeah.
Everybody was great. The whole trip, I think the whole trip was freaking perfect.
Yeah.
I mean,
so there's a travel vlog coming out, but we were counting the days down, and then you're sitting around the table Thanksgiving.
Oh man! So we had a timing discrepancy. My family likes to eat. We literally start eating dinner at like 2:00, right? And then we usually play football. After dinner, we play football for like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that, until somebody gets hurt. And then we come in and have dessert, and then we just sit around.
Yeah, we have a formal sit-down dinner at 5:00, and the appetizers start right after the dog show, and cocktails go the whole day. So we weren't really finished up, Maddie and I, until 7:30 was kind of early for us.
Right. So I said that I think most people are going to be out of my house by like 7:30. Mm-hmm. You were like 10.
We get people staying late watching TV.
You said you had people that come after.
They come for dessert at 8 o'clock at night and stay and watch movies.
Yeah. So we were planning on like 10. This and that, and so I didn't even really have my phone on me. We're out having a good time, playing football, eating, and all of a sudden I check my phone, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Things are moving along here a little bit quicker than expected."
Turkey was on the table at 4.
I'm like, girls, go pack your bags. So. We got rolling a little bit earlier. You actually, I'll be honest, you actually kind of rushed me just because I wasn't ready. I was just still expecting this 10 o'clock.
I can have yams anytime, man. I can't play Myrtle Beach all the time. So.
Yeah, I was pretty excited too. I was just like, man, I really, I'm like, man, we gotta wait till 10.
So we ended up meeting at the New Paltz Park and Ride, consolidating vehicles, throwing everything in the back of your car. 5 sets of golf clubs, 5 travel bags. Check out the vlog for the complete packing list.
Oh yeah, and then we hit the road on Thanksgiving night. We got on the throughway at 8:20.
Yeah.
And then just headed south.
Yep. And then you
had a couple
libations.
Yes. Yeah, I did not.
Yep.
So I knew that I was going to drive as far as my eyes would take me. And let you kind of sleep that off a little bit.
Yep.
Plus, you drive terribly, so.
Just let it be known, I got better gas mileage when I was driving.
You got amazing gas mileage. This is the highest my truck has ever seen. I think we were at 22 miles per gallon, but I think
you gotta keep your foot out of the accelerator. You gotta get that slow lane.
I think you were going in reverse.
So you drove down through New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland. I woke up. We were in Washington D.C. But usually the route takes me around D.C.
Dude,
we drove through the Washington Monument,
and that's my first time doing that. And I used to live in South Carolina, so I would drive back and forth quite a bit. And I just punched in Pawleys Island,
fastest place to get
and Google does its calculations, and we went right through D.C.
Yeah, but it was like the main mall. Waking the girls up, that's the Capitol, that's the Washington Monument.
Yeah, and all of a sudden I was back in social studies class.
Oh, well, because I've been fortunate to take a couple tours of D.C., but I'm like, that's the Jefferson Memorial that's looking over at the Treasury Building.
Dude, it was awesome because that, and it was what had to be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Nobody was on the road, so you kind of slow down a little bit and really kind of see these things. It was actually really cool. Yep. I wish we got a little bit of footage of that. But.
So I jumped in the front seat about 3 in the morning. Yep, and took us the rest of the way. And we wake up in beautiful Myrtle Beach to a sunny Black Friday morning.
Yep, and listen, we got there a lot earlier than we expected too. So we got there at 7 a.m.
I drove down in April. It took me 15 hours to get down, and I was expecting that. Right?
So was I. So the timing was off, and now all of a sudden we're in Myrtle at 7, and we had this plan of going to Cracker Barrel. It was just on the list to go to Cracker Barrel.
There's a few things you have to do when you go down south, and not that we don't have great Cracker Barrels up here. I'm just saying it hits different in south of Mason.
Except the lady, the hostess, wasn't she from Kingston?
Oh.
Dude, you remember that? She was from Kingston or something?
Which goes back to prove that nobody is originally from Myrtle Beach. Nobody.
Dude, she was from our hometown.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep. So sausage biscuits and gravy, chicken fried steak, a couple cups of coffee, country fried steak, and
waffles.
And waffles.
Yeah.
Did you get a rocking? I got 2 rocking chairs. How many rocking? No. But then it was there was some. We had time to kill before the hotel was ready.
And I honestly have never been to the touristy part of Myrtle Beach. I've only been to Pawleys Island, Murrells Inlet, and then Barefoot.
Yeah.
You know, actually that's kind of the touristy spot, but you know, I never hung out in that spot.
Yeah. Broadway in the...
I've never been, you know. So we drove over there.
Well, we skipped everything, went right to the PGA Superstore.
Yeah, well, we did that. Of course, you know, you got to do that. And you know, it's crazy because besides me, so we have me, you, Taylor's my oldest, Layton's my middle daughter, and then Maddie's your daughter. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one who's been to a PGA Superstore.
I've never been.
This is all their first time.
Yep. And it's super.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We were taking a look at bags for probably an hour. You know,
never let you down.
The shoe department was like unbelievable.
Dude, it's the giant Walmart of golf stuff. Now they have tennis stuff too, but you know, it's a small section. The whole store is golf.
How big do you think that putting green is, though?
Oh man, I think
it's got to be 25 feet wide and 100 feet long.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so a 2,500 square foot putting green with nothing but putters around it on 3 sides and holes in the middle, and it's probably running at a 12. You know, so we petered out there for a while.
A lot of the footage in the vlog is us putting on there because
it was good. But it was great to grab a few things that you see online that you don't normally get a chance to get. Yeah. And you know, if you needed a glove. Like Maddie wanted cold weather gloves because we were thinking about catching a couple of warm mornings, cold mornings. But she's got little hands, right? But we were able to find like a really nice pair, the right size.
And I mean, we do have a PGA Superstore close to us up here. It's Northern Jersey, Mahwah. Is that Mahwah or the other one?
Paramus.
Paramus, yeah.
In that neck of the woods, but that's still. You know,
it's an hour and 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be honest, around here, if you want to get good golf stuff, you have to either go to Northway up in Albany.
Northway is great.
Or down the Paramus.
Yeah. Yep. So, PGA Superstore was amazing.
Amazing.
So then, again, it's still only 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 9:30. And then we went to Broadway to the beach.
We went and checked it out a little bit, but then we went down to the actual boardwalk.
Yeah, so we went down to the beach.
Down to the pier. We went to the ocean.
We went to the Gay Dolphin.
We introduced you to the Gay Dolphin. So when you thought we were going to, when I said, let's go to the Gay Dolphin, I mean, everybody kind of bristled. Because
I didn't think I thought it only opens at like 10 o'clock at night.
So maybe your first impression of the Gay Dolphin. Because it's a Myrtle Beach landmark.
It was a pretty cool store. I mean, I'll tell you what, if I had time, I could have bought a bunch of stuff there, like something for my mom, totally, you know, like one of those shell dangly things.
It's the biggest crap gift store in the world.
And we got lost.
I had to text you guys to find you.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out front. So I'm like, all right, let's walk to the front. All of a sudden, I get stuck. There's a fountain with giant animals.
No, there's 3 floors of anything.
But they're not just floors. They're like, it literally was like in a...
It's like if a kid built it out of Minecraft blocks. Like
exactly.
That's what they
Totally.
Yep.
But it was a cool store.
Yep. All your Myrtle Beach curios are available at the
anything that your mind can imagine, they have it.
But then we shot down, got right out of there, and the hotel
was
ready.
I told you. I was like, dude, try to call. And what do you...
Diamond member, it's not a big deal. I don't like to brag about it, but it does give me certain privileges as a Hilton Honor Diamond member for many years.
10 o'clock and our room was ready.
Yeah.
So it was we got lucky there. Otherwise, we were sitting around doing nothing.
So it was cool because the girls got a chance to sleep in a bed instead of the back of the car.
Yeah.
And get that chance to take a shower and stuff. And then you and I were pumped up and went and sat in the parking lot and crushed a bunch of beers and smoked cigars and just daydreamed about getting on the golf course.
Yeah. So we didn't have so this was Friday. This was Black Friday, and since the girls were going to be doing us favors of filming, we said Friday was going to be for them. So we had nothing planned. We said, whatever you guys want to do. And
then we recommended that we go to Tupelo Bay.
Yeah. But Tupelo Bay was cool. They had soccer golf.
So shout out to Vlad. Vlad turned me on to Tupelo Bay. And it's a really, really, really nice practice facility. Good driving range. They have an executive course. But then they have a very cool par 3 under the lights where you can play regular golf, you can play soccer golf, and you can play disc golf simultaneously.
Yeah.
And for the girls, I think it was cool.
Yeah, I think Taylor and Layton really, really did enjoy it. Maddie was doing a little bit of both.
She was playing some golf, she was playing some soccer. But it was cool to be out there at night, and it wasn't that late. It's like 4:30 at night, but it's pitch black out.
I know.
But
it was fun.
But it was cool to play under the lights. It was a lot of fun to get and check out some of the filmage from Tupelo Bay because it's just a really cool place to shoot at night. But then we said to the girls, "Where do you want to go to eat?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to Hibachi.
Let's go. Let's go.
We drove by it, and you were like, "Yo, that's the place." Like,
I forget the name of the steakhouse, but it's this Japanese steakhouse with hibachi. Make reservations. They'll never honor them. They'll say, yeah, come on in, and you're going to wait anyway. But one thing about South Carolina is the booze is very inexpensive.
Oh
there.
Man!
I just noticed like they had a specialty drink, and if you're any of our restaurants locally, you might want to check this out. It's just an Angry Orchard, that thing that Sam Adams makes, like an apple cider, and they dump it in there, and then they put a shot of Jack Daniels on top of it. But it was like $4.50.
Well, check out in the vlog because it got Adam up and dancing.
So solid hibachi place. Food was good.
Yeah, it's cool.
If you like rice, this is your place.
10 pounds of rice.
Yep.
It was awesome.
And Maddie's like, I'm taking my rice with me. I'm like, to where? The hotel? And she's like, yeah. So the block of rice was like this. It's like, and I'm like, she's traveling with it across state lines. But anyway.
I think it's a pound of something else.
So it was early to bed, early to rise.
Yeah.
Because we had a big day planned on
So
on
next day we had, we had 36 planned at True Blue and Caledonia. Now, sun goes down 5:20.
Does it?
I mean,
it goes down early.
Sun goes down before that, but dark at 5:20.
But by 5:30, you can't see your eyes.
So the guy who I was making the reservation or the tea times about, he was like, that's a little late, don't you think? I'm like, no, we'll be fine.
So we get to True Blue, we had a 7 o'clock tea time?
None of us have played True Blue.
Right.
You played Caledonia, I played Caledonia, I played Paulie's Plantation.
But True Blue, a lot of people like it better.
But you don't hear about it.
No.
I will tell you, Caledonia just gets all of the love between those two courses. Yeah. True Blue was amazing. Probably one of the biggest golf courses I've ever played. So
just expansiveness.
Right.
The property this thing took up, the one hole on the back is a long par 5. It's probably 550. But that's not the thing about it. We were standing on the green, and he's like, "Look at that! Just turn around and look at where we came from."
How much land that it just took up.
It's like the Oregon Trail.
I think that's actually. I should probably go back and look. I think that's actually the par 5 that you see when you're driving in, and right before you turn right to face the clubhouse.
You see
and you'll see it in the vlog. You'll see this hole over here. And
it's just gigantic.
Just so much land. It was cool. And then there's that other one. I believe that was.
Well, I mean, just starting at the beginning. The first hole, and at first thing in the morning, it's just such a dramatic open.
Oh yeah.
You're out there kind of by yourself. The starters there. We get the girls there. But there's beautiful sunrise. There's dew on everything, and it's just. You couldn't ask for a prettier opening hole in your life. And you got to carry it like 200 over a marsh, to get to the green or to get to the fairway
at 7:40 in the morning.
25. It was 40 degrees. It was a little chilly to start.
The girls were definitely.
But I think what was beautiful about that course is like what's next? What's next? What's next? You were so excited to play the hole, but the minute you were done, you're like, what? And
dude, the third hole. The par 3?
Yeah.
Insane.
So it's very rare that I laugh and giggle and have a panic attack simultaneously looking at a hole. And, in full disclosure, we didn't play the tips. The guy's like, you're going to make your life miserable out here. And it was a little chilly and the ball wasn't flying. So we played 1-up, which is like the regular blues. But what was the hole? 185?
Dude, no, I think it was 194.
194, 100% carry water.
Yep.
Dude, it's a peninsula green that
Crazy.
slopes away. It slopes away. And I sat there and I go, I don't know what to do with this hole. I'm terrified to hit it out.
Yeah, that was a really cool hole.
Yeah.
And then the next hole.
Oh, geez. So you get the big crescent par 5, and we both hit great shots to the edge of the water. And he's like, "Oh, I'm taking it over the pond." I'm like, "There's no way you're making it."
But it was
Johnny Twowood over here.
209.
Yeah.
I think we had 209.
Ball just wasn't carrying it.
It just did not.
So he smokes it into the water, and I'm like, "Oh, I can draw it around this crescent." I smoke it into the water, right?
And then we both smoke it into the water.
Again, and we're like, "Okay, well, there's the score, just disintegrated."
Yeah.
So we really can't play for a quality score here. But we both hit it near the green. And it was a tricky downhill. And by the way, the greens were flying. They were really fast for November. And you hit a nice chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you chipped it in.
And then I chipped it in. So that's the way to close out a 7 with 2 in the water. But like I said, just overall, if you've never played True Blue, go there with very high expectations. Expect to be impressed. Expect to see something beautiful. Expect that every turn there's something that is interesting. The course is very playable. It's not like they're trying to trick you or anything. It's just big. It can be long if you play it back. It was great to have the girls playing with us too.
Yeah.
The forward tees.
Oh yeah.
The forward tees were giving them, knock that course down to like 4,500 yards. And it was very playable for them as well. I thought that was cool.
So, and I mean, just the fact that they were out there playing like a top-notch course was just. It was cool, and to see like a real course. Yeah. So
again, we're playing a 5-some, like a modified 5-some. Not every girl's playing every hole, but they're playing enough. It's getting late, and we're noticing between filming and everything else, we kind of gotta hustle here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I think you closed out the match on that. Was it 17?
Yeah.
On the par 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you closed out the match. And then obviously, 18 is a beautiful hole there. So we did I think we kind of flew through 18 a little bit more than we should have.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate it nearly as much. It's got a beautiful tee shot.
I was on the green too. But.
Well, you parred it.
Yeah.
I decided to destroy my round by nearly putting it into the water, but that green's gigantic. And where the pin location was that day was obnoxious. So I'm putting it out there, True Blue. Front.
They knew we were coming, dude.
Front left. Anywhere else on that green is an easier pin location than there.
They knew we were coming.
And I told them
to put it there.
I left it in the bunker right, and forget it. So, but the trick is we got off the course at like 12:30. We have a 1 o'clock tee time, and we're battling darkness. We knew we
were hungry.
Yeah. So it's only 3 minutes from True Blue to Caledonia.
Yeah.
And if we ran out on you guys at True Blue, we really do apologize. Again, trying to get there. The drive up the drive at Caledonia.
Pretty cool. The one in the driveway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That always is so impressive. Yeah. It's what you expect in Southern charm, Southern hospitality.
I mean,
oaks with the Spanish moss.
You can just type it into YouTube.
Yeah.
And you'll see that. Every video. It's a long driveway. Every person who goes there, especially if it's their first time or they're trying to showcase the whole drive, just is in the video. It's long, and every editor would tell you not to leave that much stuff in, but it's so hard to not film the whole thing and just love the whole thing. It's beautiful. It's just absolutely stunning.
And I get giddy. You pull onto the property and you start to like shake a little bit. You're like, we're gonna play it. And the closer you get to the clubhouse. By the way, clubhouse decorated for Christmas.
Oh yeah,
so gorgeous.
Yeah, so
cool.
My
God, it was 2 days after Thanksgiving. But again, the staff at True Blue and Caledonia ridiculous, especially so late in the season. These guys have helped thousands and thousands and thousands of golfers.
Yeah.
They went out of their way for us. So I really
totally. Everybody down there has been amazing. Finn scooters, baby.
So last time I was down in April, I saw those scooters and I go, you're going to kill yourself on all those things. And then my playing partners in April had the scooters, and they look so cool.
Yeah.
And so we've been talking about them.
Well, and then I had the same story. So I went down 2 years ago, and I saw them, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool. Like, but nah, I'm like, that's, I said, we got to do it this time, just because we have to. And we did. Yeah. And it was amazing. Right.
So a little tricky getting them started. So you have to have a cell phone. You got to download an app. You have to be able to use like a PayPal in order to pay for this thing. But once all that rigmarole is over, there's no better way to play golf.
It should be at every course.
It should be.
And I'll be honest, the dozen people that I've told about these things since we've been back, you truly do not understand how fun and cool these things are until you actually drive one.
So I've seen the different ones. Like the guys at the course that we play with, they have the bag that
I think it's called like a Fat Boy or something, right?
They have a Fat Boy. It's an awesome looking vehicle. They had the one that's like a surfboard and stuff like that. They never really interested me. I'm like, I didn't see like this. I think is a player advantage. I think this is a piece of equipment that shout out to Jamie Paddock is a necessity to play top level golf. And so when you see what they go for, about 3,600.
3,600.
So when you see 3,600 coming out of the checking account and a brand new Finn scooter,
7,200.
72. There you go. Just the tips. But long story short is it made the game of golf, if it could possibly be more enjoyable.
Oh, totally.
And I think it made the experience better, but I think it was an advantage because you got your bag right here. It's like right in front of you. Your rangefinder's right there. Your beer's here. Your cigar's here. Everything's right there. And then you pull up near the ball, and I can't see in front of my face. So when I'm in a cart, I'm always looking to see what club I'm taking. They're right there. Grab it, hit it, jump back on, and away you go.
And then in addition, sometimes when you are losing balls and your ball pocket is right here also, it's pretty convenient.
Yep.
I don't know. There's so many things that were great about those scooters that I can't even single like what's the best. It was just.
But if there's a local course that wants to get involved, we'll help facilitate it because they have like a leasing program where you can get a dozen of these things. And like I said, you just scan them and you're basically self-sufficient. You sign the waiver that says when you kill yourself and you drive yourself off a bridge into a pond, it's your fault.
Listen, we didn't do dumb things with them.
But the thing doesn't do 90 miles an hour.
No, it does. I think it does the same speed as a regular golf cart.
Yeah.
But I think I've never done anything dumb in a golf cart. I've never drove it through a freaking bunker or anything like that. Don't do anything dumb with these, and you'll be perfectly fine, and you will totally enjoy yourself. It was probably the most relaxing, coolest round of golf I've ever played.
So we get the girls fed up at the snack shack, right?
Yeah.
And that was good. So now we're finally, like I said, now we're rushing, right? We just played 18. We traveled over there. We got ourselves set up, Finn scooters. Got something to eat over to the first tee. And I'll tell you, dude, I was probably halfway down the middle of the first fairway before I was like, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe it.
This is your course, man. This is your course.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And that first hole, I think more courses should take a tip from Caledonia. A reasonable par 4 to start out with. Nice. What's that thing? 370. You hit a drive to a large fairway. It's an accessible green. It's got a couple of bunkers around it, but you knock it on the green. You take your 2 putts and you get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And you're off and running. But by the time we got to number 2, I was like, I love this course so much. And then we got to number 3, the par 3. And I almost knocked it in for
almost
another
jars
hole
it for a hole-in-one.
Tap in birdie.
Yeah.
But that was the point where I realized that I wasn't going to film anything. I know that's our job in Caledonia. You guys were the 1,000% best to us, and we'll do all kinds of. But the course demands your attention. I don't want to do anything else. I
think that's it. I think it's you just really want to soak it in.
Just want to play that course, and like I said, to be in your pocket on your cell phone.
I'll compare it to this, and I was thinking about not doing it. Christmas morning when your kids are opening presents, there's always like parents that take a ton of pictures, and there was a time in my life when I said, I just want to sit back and enjoy and watch the joy on their face. That's Caledonia.
Caledonia is a course that you want to be in the moment because you don't want to miss it. I'll go so far as to say that when we got to 17 and the sun was going down on this beautiful day, and I know I skipped a bunch, but I started to get like a little sad that the round was over, and that we were finishing this day. Again,
yeah, when you make that turn, I would say 16, 15, 15's the dog leg left.
Yeah.
16 is the one with the water short of the green. I think the same thing with me. I was like, oh man,
So before we get to the dramatic 18th and finish it up, some cool stuff happened on the course though, right? I mean, we had a great day out there.
Well, one daughter threw the other one through the windshield. That was kind of an accident. So slamming on the brakes and went through the windshield.
So I was behind some trees.
I didn't yell though.
No, you were perfectly reasonable. We were behind. I just hear this crash, and I look and just hit the brakes, and the plexiglass on the car. She gets launched through there like a
they didn't break
crash
anything.
test.
They just popped the windshield.
No big deal.
Sorry about that, Caledonia.
No, like I said.
I actually let the girls ride the fin scooters a little bit, and they rode them perfectly fine. They really liked them too, so it was pretty cool.
Yep. Where the course butts up to some of the houses, there was a very nice lake in her backyard with a basset hound by the name of Fred. Yeah. Shout out to Fred the basset hound. He's very pettable.
That was what hole was that?
I can't remember. Again, I think of some holes. Like number 11. Is such a cool hole. Yeah. With the creek that running around it. 10. What I love about 10 is standing on those brick steps and looking down. Yeah. And like I was on the green in 3, and I was watching you guys play up. It was just a very cool place to kind of take in the game coming at you with it down there. What's it? 13 is the kind of big dog leg left with the is it 13 or 14?
14.
It's got the big tree on the side. We should be.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
But it's got the water and the big giant waist bunker.
It's a big dog leg, like a 90-degree dog leg.
When I played that in April, the ladies I was playing with, my playing partners, were like, "Hey, just hit it out in the middle, and then you get around the corner." And I ended up jerking that hole up, taking like an 8, but almost made birdie on that hole. I was really proud of the way I played it. But
it's 13.
It is 13. Yeah. But, again, it was getting dark. The moon came out, full moon over the fairway.
Yeah.
We hit 18.
A couple pictures of that.
Yeah. We hit 18, and the sun was setting over the marsh. The Christmas lights are on the clubhouse. We take a group picture on the tee as the red sun is setting into the marsh. And then get up and blister 2 perfect drives down the middle. I had an 8-iron in. Knocked it onto the green, even though I couldn't see it from there.
Yeah, we couldn't see where our shots were going. Yeah. And then we actually let the girls hit it.
Yep.
Now, mind you, on the camera, again, low light cameras, they're gonna add a little light to see. But it's going to make it grainy, so you're going to see how grainy it is, but it's going to look a lot lighter than it really was. Yeah, it was. We should have just played the globe.
We should have grabbed the globe balls. But you could see the clubhouse all lit up, so you knew the green was short of there. Yeah. And, you could listen, you could hear it land on the green.
You were on the green. I think I went over, and I think I was like underneath the tree. I kind of chickened out. I went a little left and a little long, so.
But we finished out the day, thanking the folks. I think we were the last ones off the course, and it was a big 36 holes.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a big 36 holes. And you were my butt. He took the front, the back overall at both courses. Plus, we were playing a Stableford of total points for the whole
weekend. Yeah.
And you were up a ridiculous amount. I think you were up like.
It was a lot.
It was
59.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
So we told the girls, and they were such troopers. I mean, guys, 36 is tough to begin with.
And morning and evening were chilly.
Yeah.
Right? Sun was up during the day. It was
Nice.
beautiful out.
Yep.
55, 50, 58.
Yep.
But
we started and
morning
finished
was
in the 40s. Yep.
really cool.
So we said, you guys will take you anywhere. What do you guys want? And they said Italian.
Italian.
Right. So I punch in Italian near me, and we come to this nice restaurant. I forget the name, but
It was, I don't know, something. It sounded fancy, but whatever.
it looked fine. And Mike was parking the truck, and I go in there. I said, we don't have reservations, table 5. They said, no problem. I pick up the menu, and the first thing I see is foie gras, escargot, marbled aged steaks.
Yeah,
now
for $90.
We're in our golf clothes. We got 3 teenage girls with us, and I'm like, I said, guys, I'm sorry. And I came out and I said, listen, I don't think we're gonna do Italian.
Not really our scene.
No, white tablecloths, big glasses of red wine. Mike and I are gonna go there for Valentine's Day, but we hit the food near me, and like in the same parking lot is Our Way Family Tavern.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's got the big R backwards, like Toys R Us, right?
That's what got you?
It said tavern. That got me.
Family.
It said family. It's everything we wanted.
Yeah.
How great was Our Way Family Tavern?
You definitely wash your hands going in and coming out.
Yep.
But other than that, dude, we had a blast.
So what I loved was they got all these stray cats around the outside, which they also loved.
Yeah, they had
big feral cats.
They had 8, 9, 10 cats outside that.
Yep.
Don't feed them.
But a super basic bar and restaurant, right? But what we
place was no bigger than this simulator room.
But what we didn't realize was, and I thought this was cool, is there's a lot of people dressed in orange, right? So we stumbled into the Super Bowl of South Carolina. It was South Carolina versus Clemson.
Yeah.
And this was the place to be. So shout out to the Autistic Ducker on TikTok. Really nice guy who works at Our Way. He's got a Jeep page. We've been following him now. He likes a lot of the stuff for Just the Tips. But if you're ever down there, check him out on TikTok. He's a really cool kid. But we ordered up all kinds of food.
All the stuff, which is...
It's a mukbang.
Mukbang.
The girls let us know what a mukbang was, and we mukbanged our way right through chicken parm and tater tots and spaghetti and meatballs.
A whole pizza.
An entire pizza, chicken fingers.
Everything.
But I think the coolest thing was once again, South Carolina, you don't know what alcohol is supposed to cost. I don't know. So don't tell anybody.
Oh, $1 fucking Pabst, right?
$1.75 bottle of Pabst. And this is the coolest thing. The lady comes over and she goes, okay, what's your card? And I go, what are you talking about? I thought she was like IDing me. She's like, what card do you want? She goes, oh, you guys aren't from here. I said, no. She goes, here's how it works. She goes, under each one of these caps is a playing card. And if anybody at the table guesses exactly what playing card that is, the beer is free. Well, I tried to have 52 beers to guarantee.
Get one right.
But it's $1.75, and there's still a way to get a free beer. Then she goes to me, she goes, listen, I said, if I'm only going to be here one time, by the way, this is a classic move that you guys might want to use. Pro tip when you're traveling, just ask the person, if I'm only ever going to be here once, what should I get, right? And she said, oh, have you ever had our apple pie shot? And I go, no. She goes, well, it's $3. They got it up on the wall, apple pie shot, famous apple pie shot, $3. Brings it over, and it's not a shot. It's like yay big. It's like this. And I go, what's in it? She goes, drink it first, and then I'll tell you. So I drink it, and I go, it was delicious. It tasted like a cinnamon Yankee candle. It was awesome, right? And I go, what is it? She goes, apple cider and Everclear. So for $3 and $1.75, you can have an apple cider and Everclear and a Pabst Blue Ribbon. I love South Carolina.
He loves Our Way.
Yep.
So so we ate a ton of food, but we still had to get up early, dude.
So we knew, and we had another big day planned. We had at least 18, possibly 36 if the weather helped.
Well, we had 36 planned.
Yep.
But we also had promised the girls that we'd get back to the hotel and play some hotel mini-golf. And he's drunk.
Woo!
We played hotel mini-golf.
So we all brought our putters upstairs. We brought a dozen Chrome Softs because, if you're putting, you need a tri-track. And we took
especially in the hallway.
So the hallway has got to be, I don't know, a couple 100 feet long.
Yeah.
So we only played half of it.
It was long. No. I think we played 180. It was probably 360 feet long.
It was a very long hallway.
Yeah.
So we all started at one end. We got a coffee cup on the other end, and we played down it. So we're trying to be quiet because, yeah, we are respecting people.
But if you knock the cup over, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. You had to touch the cup.
Yeah.
So we played.
It had to be 9:30.
So next thing we know, we're banging into the walls. This one lady comes out. The girls scatter. They go hide where the ice machine is. You're down there ignoring it. She comes out. I'm standing there with the putter and the ball. There's balls all over the hallway. She looks at me and goes, "Playing through, right?" So the girls. She goes back in the room. The girls come out, and then what was the guy's name? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but he came out and
he was caddying for me.
Yeah, I thought
so. So we met like the nicest guy in the world, and he hung out with us for a while. He was very interested. He didn't play golf. He was an engineer from Georgia, and he built bridges and stuff like that. And but then it got kooky because we're like, well, if the hallway is good,
yeah, let's go play down the stairwell.
It's a three-story hotel, so we'll play down the stairwell. And you ended up winning.
No. Leighton ended up winning.
Oh,
actually.
true too.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
So
we had to put down the 3 flights of stairs and underneath the last stair, which is basically, if you don't hit that cup, you're in a spiderweb hazard.
Yeah.
I know.
So Leighton won. That was awesome. So, but we did get to bed at a reasonable time.
Yeah. We went to bed right after that. We had to get up again next day. We decided, actually, if the weather isn't cooperating, we are only going to play 18. We had 18 planned at Paulie's Plantation for the morning, and then
18 at Heritage.
At Heritage, right? Yeah. So,
and we were all about it, but we woke up to a chilly morning that wasn't planned to be chilly. The forecast all week it had nice mid-50s for us again.
Yeah, so I'd say it was probably like 48.
But never got above that.
And never got above that. Yeah. Sun never really came out, never broke through the clouds. So we were kind of chilly, especially playing Paulie's Plantation.
So Paulie's is your course.
That's my course.
That's the one where you're like, you got to see this dude. You got to see this course. Right? So shout out to the folks at Paulie's Plantation. They were so wonderful to us. It was absolutely bananas how good they treated us. Again, shout out from Just the Tips to all our friends at Paulie's.
Yeah, so cool course. Now, I will be honest, Paulie's front 9 is a little generic. I don't want to say generic, but it's a resort course.
It reminded me, if you're local, it reminded me of Red Hook. In the fact that
you got some houses.
It goes through a neighborhood. Yeah. It's kind of built that way. There's some gettable holes. There's some tough holes.
There's still beautiful.
That par 3, that really
over
the water, the one over the water. The one where I stuck again on you. I hooked it right in there.
Yeah. That's like number 4. Yeah, and then the other par 3 over the sand.
Yeah, the one over the sand.
Yeah.
So there's some cool holes out there, but overall, that's not the reason you go there. Like you don't go to play the front 9.
No,
it's in the way of the back 9.
So we pushed the front.
Yep.
So I'm starting to play a little bit better.
Yeah.
Driver's starting to come around.
Yeah.
And we pushed the front 9.
Not to interrupt, but what about that driving range there? That's what my second favorite driving range.
The practice facility at Paulie's is amazing.
They have a golf school there that I wish I would have went to instead of college or high school.
I did go to high school there.
I would have went to elementary school, but they have
but except the problem is the social studies, the history of that they're going to teach you down there is going to be a little
different. But they have this giant tree in the middle of the range that must be 280 out.
It's beautiful.
It's just spectacular. So my if we're ranking my number 2 favorite driving range of all time next to Bahia.
Yeah, we know Bahia's number 1.
Bahia. So we pushed the front, but you're really starting to come around, and I'm starting to struggle a little bit. And I've been playing pretty well.
And I knew what was coming up. I knew that. The back 9 at Paulie's is just something amazing that, I was just excited for. And again, this is my favorite course.
And I hadn't done any research. He told me, don't go online, don't look at the course, don't spoil it. It's like a surprise coming up. So we had a nice stop on the turn.
Yeah, we had to stop at the turn. We had some people in front of us, and we had to kind of warm up a little bit. So we ended up going to the turn, kind of chilling for a little bit. Went back to the 10T.
And 10T, to me, because he was saying like we're gonna go to the ocean, but the 10th tee starts sending you back into the neighborhood.
Yep.
You know?
So you go out, and 10 was the one with your second shots over the water.
So it looks like no disrespect to Mr. Nicholas, but number 10 looks more like a Pete Dye design than it does a Nicholas design with the railroad ties, the water, stuff like that. A reasonable, very simple, gettable hole that I easily parred. How'd you make it?
I should go to my truck right now and get. So I got over water. I was a little right, and they had like. I'm gonna make excuses because over there on the right side was they had re-sodded that area.
Yep.
Should have been
ground under.
It should have because it was grown in. You could just still see some of the lines, but it was totally fine. And I'm sitting there with my 54. I'm just like, all right, don't scull this. Now, mind you, I've been sculling this 54 for the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I bet
probably 8, 9, 10 times.
I was just gonna say, without exaggeration, it was 10 times that you sculled a shot that normally is a strength of yours.
Yeah.
And it was the number one reason why you were so far down at that point. And you battled back on the front, and all you needed was a little up and down.
I took probably like 25 little quick swings just to feel the bottom of this. That's it. I'm like, all right, don't scull this. Scull it. Into the bunker on the other side, chuck my 54 towards the houses, and I had my putter in my hand. I was like, oh crap, I kind of still need that. So I walk over, long talk to myself. I grab my 54 and I say, you got one more shot, one more shot. Go into the bunker. Now I know that I got to get this thing out. And I left it in the bunker. Snap this thing right in half, chuck it. My kids are over there filming, laughing, and just saw their dad snap a wedge in half and throw it.
So it was what we learned, an important lesson, right? One is swing thoughts, right? If we think we're going to scull it, we're going to scull it. Number two
now is not the time for your.
Number two is having the proper bounce for Bermuda grass. I think
I will say
I don't know about bounce and grind, but I know you're a much better chipper, and that club
up here with the ryegrass. I will say there's probably something to that, but I can't blame it all on that because if anything, then I should have just adjusted and started chunking the ball instead of sculling it.
I don't know.
I don't really know, but
you're probably good for 5 years now. Every once in a while, a club must be broken in anger.
I definitely haven't broken a club. I don't think I ever broke a club on purpose.
No?
Like that. Now, I threw the pitch and wedge, and I think I threw a 9-iron like 5 years ago, kind of tomahawked it down the fairway, and it just hit the right angle and snapped. But that wasn't like, I want to break this thing.
No. This was a sacrifice to the golf gods, one that was deserved. And
I got to say sorry to Hector Blanco because he did just regrip that in Puerto Rico.
So the good
news,
we're going to salvage it. We're going to reshaft it. Part of an upcoming series, fixing your broken clubs with just the tips.
I'm doing it for you guys.
There you go. So we played 10. We play 11 is a cool hole, and now we're heading back. And I'm like, okay, you can start to
12.
12 is super cool.
12 is a really cool hole.
Yeah.
I finally hit it. The driver really worked on 12. I actually almost thought that I went through the fairway, which I wasn't even close.
So take a look at some of our shorts. There's a big, beautiful tree. The girls were jerking around with us and taking some stills and some videos.
Yeah, they're on the TikTok stuff, so they're like, oh, you should do this. This is what's trending and all these things. So we did it.
There you go. But then he muscles up and he crushes one. He goes, oh, that's through the fairway. I destroyed it, knocked it through the fairway.
There was a hill, there was a knoll that I didn't see my ball behind, but I wasn't even close.
No, it was a really nice shot right in the middle of the fairway. But then we finish up that hole, and that's where things take a turn.
Yeah, so 13 at Paulie's is an amazing hole. And they just, Jack Nicklaus was just there not even a year ago, I think. And they rebuilt. I don't want to say they redesigned it because I think what they were saying is that the marsh started washing away the space in between the two greens because, 16 green and 13 are connected and it started washing away. So I think they just kind of built all that back up and maybe kind of reshaped some things.
So for those of you that
spoiler I think alert, they made that tee box.
What do they call that thing? They call it
causeway.
The dike. The dike. They call it a dike, but it looks like a causeway. So the only thing I can describe it is it goes. It's 8 feet off the water, off the marsh, and it goes out for a couple of 100 yards. And it's tee boxes on one side and a cart path on the other.
So as you're going,
it's 10 feet wide, the whole thing.
As you're going, you have tee boxes on your right, like 4 tee boxes, skinny tee boxes,
Okay.
And then the cart path on this side. But they're both up on the causeway.
Yeah.
And these tee boxes are for this hole. And then you go up, and the cart path switches sides, and then the tee boxes are on the other side. But again, they're still up on the causeway.
Yep. So
and those are for.
So this entire thing is all built on railroad ties.
Yeah.
I mean, there must be, like you think about the Great Pyramids of Giza, like the amount of freaking railroad ties this thing must have taken. But now you got your little bitty tee box, right? And you got this little tiny green that's all built.
All marsh.
All marsh. And so what was the yardage for? It was reasonable, but it was.
I think I hit an 8-iron, dude. I think it was like 139.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was right at 130. It was in the 130s.
I know you hit a 9.
I tried to muscle up and hit a 9.
Yeah, and I had an 8 in my hand the whole time.
Yep, and he knocked it tight. Beautiful shot right on the green. I hit it in the water. I took a drop.
Yep. So then we decided to go up and take a drop, and that's where also we were letting the girls hit from because we gotta let them hit.
It's so cool. But that front tee is about 60 yards, which I think is harder to try and hit this little shot.
So you took a drop from there, and I think you almost landed it in, and it still rolled 18 feet by
and into the water.
Did it?
Remember? Because
I
hit it on the green, but deep, and it went over, and then I hit it short and almost rolled in it again. It's like an impossible shot.
Yeah.
I think the people playing it from 60 yards have it harder than the people playing it from.
Oh, don't pat yourself on it. But just give me the credit, dude.
It was a nice shot. It was a very nice shot. So, but
missed the putt, tap in par though.
Such a cool hole though.
Girls had fun.
And were we there at high tide or low tide? Low tide because you could see the balls.
Yeah, it was low tide.
There. But at high
and
tide,
they were like, we can get our balls. I'm like, you're not
like a
jumping
down there, like cattails and mud. But then if that was 13, 14 and 15 are super cool holes too.
Yep, 14 is a par 5 with all of that marsh to your right.
Yep.
Narrow, real narrow tee shot.
You can hook it into those beautiful homes into the front yards.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out if you're ever on that hole. That's 14, right?
Yeah.
14 on the left-hand side, in the people's yard next to the stump is a little fairy house. I don't even know if you knew that.
No,
you were on the right. I was
in the fairway.
I was in the left in these people's yards. But they must put it there for the golfers because you come up and it says the girls were like super impressed. They were taking pictures and videos of it.
Yeah, I was in the fairway.
Yep. Well, like I said, you played that hole well too, and this is where my wheels were coming undone.
Yeah, so
I was thinking double.
But now here's the problem. So I hit my second shot, and I still left myself with like a crappy angle, and I need to win this hole.
Yeah.
And I think it was a stroke hole. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I need to win this hole. And so I'm standing over my third shot with like a 9-iron or 8. I'm like a 9-iron, but I wanted to aim a little left of the left edge of the green. But I also know it's out of bounds, and I can't go right because it's all marsh. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like standing over this ball. We want to talk about think box.
Yeah.
I chunked my next shot, and then I chickened out and bumped a little pitching wedge onto the green, got away with a bogey there. Thankfully won the hole with a stroke. Yeah.
So, a couple other, solid holes, but then we come back to 17. So 17's right back.
Well, you got 16. You got 16 that comes back to, which is a really, really cool hole. A little scary because you got that marsh kind of creeps in once you make that turn.
Yeah. Yep, I almost forgot about that one.
That was a really, I think that's a cool hole that probably doesn't get as much love because of the other tee boxes.
Dude, you see what I did was my mind jumped right to the next one, but it does finish up with that green in the marsh and a tough hole. And
17.
who's it? Leighton hit a beautiful shot.
Yeah, Leighton hit a real good shot. Yeah, she was. I think she's gonna get the bug.
Yeah,
I really do, and I hope she does.
So back to 17.
17. So now you're back on the causeway, driving up, and then you got to park onto the left side tee boxes. And
so from our tee box, though,
193.
193. But now the wind's picked up. It started to rain a little bit, and you're going right back at the clubhouse. And it's 193 carry over this marsh to another, like an island green. So it's the same thing you had on 13, just another 60 yards longer.
Yeah, and again, that hole probably doesn't get as much love as 13. I think because you can bail either way.
You could.
You totally should, by the way.
You should. So what'd you hit into that hole?
I was hitting a 3-wood, just trying to just make sure it got over. And it didn't get over because I didn't even catch it all.
So he didn't hit a particularly good shot. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I need to win.
And it still was probably 20 yards short.
So I'm like, I'm hitting 3-wood. I'm like, if I'm over the green, I'm over the green. I'm like, I normally hit my 3-wood 220, 230, right? But we got a pretty good breeze, and the ball's not carrying in the cold. And I nut this thing right at the pin, at the draw. I'm like, that's in the cup. Dude, I hit the railroad ties, right? I must have hit 180 in the air and hit the railroad tie. I'm like, you gotta be joking me at this point.
And I mean,
I started to get frustrated.
I thought it was like landing on and then gonna roll off.
Yeah. But dude, I killed this club and it came up short. So talking to the cart guy, I don't know, what do you call the guy that takes your bag? The bag guy? Bag guy? Yeah. But these guys are so much cooler than that. They're really good golfers. They're really, really professional. Maybe he's a pro and he was just but he talks about the groups that they go out and play with, and he goes, I've hit pitch and wedge off of that tee box when the wind's blowing in.
Yeah.
He goes, I've hit and driver and not made it there. He goes, that hole is so hard. I would love to see him play a professional tournament there and see what those guys do with that thing, or maybe like a D1 tournament.
They might put him on. Imagine playing from the other tees for 13 back to that. That'd be insane.
Well, and they were saying that.
I bet there's some stuff there, some tournaments that we can look up and see what they do there. It'd be pretty cool.
Probably hitting 7-iron.
18, and then obviously finishing on 18. Gorgeous hole.
Yeah.
Tough little hole because we were. I'll be honest, man. I was spent. We both kind of got handsy with our shots and went left and took a drop up there, hit it on. Yeah. I ended up winning the back in the overall, and clawed my way back on the Stableford and the par 3s.
Yep. Yeah, you had a really good day at Pawleys Island. Your course, the one that you wanted to play, you played really well.
I should just say that about every course.
But
no, I'm just saying, like, mentally, I think I played better there because, like, I loved it, and I should just love all courses.
That's true too. I don't know. You could tell how much you loved it. I was picking my way around there, and like I said, I got in some trouble. I found a lot of different hazards and stuff. I was disappointed in the way I played, but I got to be honest. All 3 courses, I couldn't tell you what I shot. 81, 85, 90. But it really didn't matter. I was worried. We said we wanted to make sure that we had really good money on the line, so we wouldn't punk out and just start whacking the ball around, especially with that much golf. But again, really wanted to pay attention to the courses.
Plus, we wanted to pay attention to the courses. We filmed a lot, not as much at Caledonia as we totally wanted to, and we were also there with our kids.
Yeah.
And
it was super special.
Listen, let's have this conversation right now. We'll put it on camera so that our kids can see this later.
Yeah.
Now, if any of you who have kids and you like mini golf, when they are 2 or 3 or 4, they want to start playing, it's a little crazy, right? You're that people holding up the entire mini golf course. But then over time, you have to train them of mini golf etiquette. Correct?
Yep.
Right? Now, I had to deal with this years ago with mini golf. And I was the dad getting mad, and we, everywhere we went, we still had to play.
Yeah.
We go on vacation, we play every single time. I didn't really realize that you also have to do that with regular golf with your kids until this trip.
Yeah.
And I'm watching my kids bang stuff around in the carts while people are hitting, or parking the car, leaving the cart way back. And Maddie actually said to me that she was like that until you.
No, 100%. My kids came up playing regular golf at a very young age, thanks to Jack Brino. Your girls take lessons with him now. But when my daughter and son were like 4 and 6, and Jack was very big on etiquette from day one, not running on the greens, being careful with the clubs, And then when I played a lot of golf with my kids coming up, and again, I can think of times where I'd be like, "What are you doing? Stop it! Stop
that
it!" That was me. But now Maddie's 16. I think she's got good golf course etiquette. I think she does a nice job. But just like you said, it takes time.
Yeah.
But again, Maddie was learning golf course etiquette at Rondout, at Stone Dock. You're trying to teach your girls on a course that sometimes they charge as much as $250 to play.
Yeah.
It's one of the top courses in the country.
And it's not one of those ones where like, hey, she's not gonna play a whole round. They don't let you do that.
No. No, everybody's got clubs. I would say this. I think that you were harder on the girls than not that they deserved, but I could tell that these courses were important to you. The filming was important to you, and like I said,
was definitely,
and these big giant days. I mean, the travel, the whole thing. So I think they did an unbelievable job, and they did ask me to do one thing. When we were all on 14, and we were overlooking at the ferries, and you were having you chunked that shot. Leighton goes, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you make a clip, a mashup?" A montage of my dad having a meltdown, and I go, no. I said we only have a minute on TikTok, but I said it's really not. It's not that. There's a lot going on simultaneously.
Well, and that's it. It's like there's so much going on, and I'll be honest. Like I'm more about efficiency, right? So if like one's over here filming, well then the other one should be bringing a car. And listen, I'm not rehashing it, but. I did. A lot. I did drive him when I drove him back to Massachusetts. We sat in the car and I explained it to him. We talked. I apologized for being, hard on them, but they're gonna get there. They're gonna get to the point to where I don't even have to worry about it.
The daughters are so nice. They're the best. And like I said, I think they do will catch the bug. I think they have a better swing than you already. But I'll just say it this way. I'll say it this way. One is epic road trip, right?
Yeah.
Most kids can't handle 11 hours overnight after a full Thanksgiving days. Our girls did it standing on their head like it was no big deal, right?
3 in the back seat.
3 in the back. You got that thing's like.
I mean, it's a big truck.
It's a big truck, dude. Let's not. They weren't in an S10 Blazer, right? Playing 36 in a day, in and of itself, is a monster task. Playing the courses we were playing were monster tasks. Yeah. Filming and getting the shots that we need so we can produce our content is monster tasks. You take any of those things and it's a big deal. You put it all together. I think we all did great.
Yeah.
I was super proud, and I think it all culminated in at Pawleys Island in their restaurant, which I gotta be honest, and I said it before, I don't know if it's because I was so hungry or I was cold and get warmed up, but I think that was the best meal we had the whole time.
I think it was also a combination of like finalizing the trip. We decided that we weren't going to play at Heritage. It was just too cold. We also timing wasn't working. Yeah, and it was going to rain, and it did actually start raining like a half hour after that.
Yeah.
And we did have to get on the road. So I think it was like a really good final, like last supper of that trip. So I think it was just really good, and the food was great.
Yeah.
So
it's such a unique trip that we had. But again, thank you to Caledonia, thank you to True Blue, thank you to Pawleys. You guys were absolute rock stars, and we appreciate it. Thank you to our girls, who again played and filmed and tolerated us. And again, we got to do something very special. We crammed in 54 holes in 3 days, with 23 hours of round trip drive time on the heels of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and then they had to go to school the next day and go to basketball tryouts.
So that was a big thing is making sure they were back in one piece.
Yeah. So no, it was a good time. I think we convinced everybody that next year we just go on like the Tuesday before Thanksgiving and go all the way to Sunday.
We just go down the whole time. And I had an absolute blast. It was a great way to round out our season.
Yeah.
We both hit some amazing shots. We both played some outstanding holes. But I'll tell you what, if you can find a way to play those 3 courses in the course of a weekend, you're doing something very right, something very special. Maybe, out of the 3 courses, your favorite course?
True Blue.
Yeah,
I'd say True Blue was my favorite course to play, only because I played the other 2. Not only because, but I played Paulie's. I love Paulie's. I love Caledonia, but True Blue.
It's a special place.
It was a really cool course to see the land, the layouts, the different holes, the sand. Dude, the waste areas on that course were
just driving through them forever.
Yeah.
And,
unfortunately, it was cart path only because they just overseeded. I would love to...
well, they were giving us fin scooters for...
Oh, yeah, we didn't take the fin scooters on True, even though we should have. We saw that bridge.
Yeah.
Remember we saw that bridge? I'm like, dude, I could totally eat it on that bridge on a fin scooter.
Yeah, it's a little wet out here, a little slippery. But I'm telling you, I'd like to go back and play True Blue again. I played well there.
So I'm saying this on this podcast right now. We are going back there this year.
Yeah.
In 2024.
All right. And if anybody wants to come with us, we'll hook it up. The Just the Tips Myrtle Beach Swing. I gotta play True Blue again.
Yeah.
I gotta play
all 3 of them again, and we'll put the list together between now and our trip in Florida.
Yeah.
Ooh, did I say it?
If you hung all the way to the end, you got a preview. But I'd like to take you up to Prestwick. That's that Pete Dye course that's really, really special.
Well, and there's a barefoot Pete Dye.
I'd love to see the barefoot course. What that Legends course is supposed to be.
Why don't we just play them all?
The Dunes.
Why don't we just play them all?
Because I think there's 365 golf courses. There's one for every day of the week.
All right, well, call in sick.
But to be sick for a year, I have the Caledonia consumption.
I got the True Blues.
But like I said, dude, that was awesome. And if this channel does anything for us, like I said, we have that trip with the girls for forever now.
I know, man. Like the filming and everything like that. And I think it's just gonna happen more and more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is Just the Tips, episode number 6, our Myrtle Beach wrap-up. Take a look all week on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We'll send smoke signals if we have to with content. And you'll get snippets, pieces, long formats. There's probably more long format pieces out of this coming than any other...
just because it's hard to... It really is hard to put all the stuff into 60 seconds, without... making like a part 1, part 2, which we're working on as well. Yeah.
But you got a lot of stuff coming at you over the next week or so. So again, I don't know if you got anything else for our.
No, that's it. Myrtle Beach was a blast. We want to thank everybody who was a part of it. Thank you guys so much. All the courses, you guys treated us so well, and we really do appreciate it.
Yeah. So closing out episode number 6. I'm Adam.
I'm Mike. Just the tips.